Warning: the following video contains spoilers relating to the content in question. If you do not wish to be spoiled, click out of this video now.
You know what kind of seems to be a bit of a theme with Bethesda DLC/expansion packs? At least with some of the bigger ones? They kind of tend to be better than their respective base games. For example, the Pit from Fallout 3. It had a hellish atmosphere that was far beyond most of what you find in the main game, and the story had a moral ambiguity that was severely lacking in the main story. And if you ask me, the Pit was the crown jewel of Fallout 3. And I also feel the exact same way about the Dragonborn expansion for Skyrim. I mean, nothing wrong with the base game, but Solstheim was just a far more interesting location, both visually with, the whole Ashlands and shit like that, and also lore-wise. Like, it had better characters, it had a better main quest, and also, unlike vanilla Skyrim, in Dragonborn, you actually felt like you were having a bit more of an impact on the world. And I have heard nothing but good things about the Shivering Isles expansion for Oblivion. Like, everybody says it kicks the ever-loving shit out of vanilla Oblivion. Though sadly I never played Oblivion. Never have. And we at last come to the Far Harbor expansion for Fallout 4. And much like the other expansions I just mentioned, it manages to be better than the game it's expanding upon. Now, gameplay-wise, nothing has really changed, except for the return of skill checks and a certain puzzle that a lot of people seem to hate. I liked it. Far Harbor gives us a whole new land to explore that I found more interesting than the Commonwealth. It gives us a fantastic new soundtrack, and it gives us so much of what vanilla Fallout 4 was sorely lacking. Now look, I love Fallout 4. I know it seems pretty popular to hate it these days, but I love Fallout 4. I mean, I've put countless hours into it, I have plenty of good things to say about it, but neither am I blind to some of its glaring flaws. Its biggest flaw, however, is its lack of role-playing elements compared to the previous Fallout games. I mean, and most of this could be blamed on the main quest. I mean, I think the side quests offer plenty of opportunities for good role-playing, but yeah, I mean, having the player character be a father looking for his son and having the story, or at least half of it, revolve around him trying to find him, well, yeah, that does kind of restrain the imagination a bit. And while I do like the main quest, neither will I deny that it does seriously limit the potential for some serious role-playing. I mean, how could you play as a psychotic asshole that just murders people for fun, or a sarcastic jerk that likes to fuck around with people, when the story, and this is actually where the voice protagonist is also a bit of a problem, when the voice of the protagonist is always pushing the image that your character is a concerned father or mother that is desperately trying to find their son. And even when the second half of the story finally allows some semblance of choice when you have to choose between the 4 different factions, like New Vegas, even that just kind of boils down to just pick one faction and wipe out the other 2. But what the main quest of Fallout 4 got wrong is what the main quest of Far Harbor got right. The expansion starts with you just taking a case from Valentine's Detective Agency about a missing daughter, and right off the bat, all, or at least most, of the restrictions from the vanilla main quest are gone. Like, no longer are you a desperate father looking for his son, you're just Nick Valentine's partner just taking another case is just another day at the office for you. But the missing daughter case is just a catalyst for a much larger conflict involving the colony of synths led by Valentine's long-lost brother, the town of Far Harbor, and the children of Adam on an island covered in radioactive fog. So much like Vanilla Fallout 4, there's 3 factions that you have to interact with during the expansion. But once again, where the Vanilla quest got it wrong, Far Harbor gets it right. It's not as clear-cut as just, join one faction, destroy the other 2. As you begin to uncover the dark secrets that Dima, one of the synths, left behind, more and more options on how to end the conflict between the factions begin to open up to you, and there is no shortage of options. There is lots of ways you could end this DLC. You could destroy one faction, you could destroy 2 of them, you could even forge a peace between all 3 of them using some admittedly very questionable means, or you could be a genocidal asshole and fucking destroy all of them. Just leave the island void of any sentient life. And aside from maybe 1 or 2 side quests, you know which ones I'm talking about, most of the side quests in the expansion mostly involve interacting with the factions and getting to know them better. But if you put your time in doing these quests, you may find that when you come to these choices at the end, they suddenly aren't so easy once you've learned all you needed to know about the factions. Then you could decide whether they're worth saving or whether you just want to wipe them off the face of the earth. But the side quests also serve a purpose beyond just fleshing out the factions. There is a point where doing these side quests actually impacts the main story. For example, at some point during the main quest, you find a dark secret of one of the major characters from Acadia, the colony of synths. Now, through a speech check, you could convince him to turn himself in to Far Harbor and be judged, but then they'll eventually start calling for Acadia to be destroyed. Then, in probably the best speech check in the entire game, you could tell that character to shut up or stand down, and depending on who you helped or didn't help or just plain screwed over in the Far Harbor side quests, they'll either side with you and stand down, or they'll side against you and completely annihilate Acadia. I don't think there was anything like that during the main game. This is the first time in the whole game where your actions during side quests, of all things, actually manage to have an impact on the main story. If you were disappointed that Fallout 4 was lacking a lot of RPG elements, well, Far Harbor does its damnedest to try and correct that error, and it does a pretty damn good job of it. I suppose better late than never, right? Far Harbor had a great main quest that had many options on how to end it. It had great side quests that actually had an impact on the main. It had a great new atmospheric map to explore. It had great characters. It fleshed out the Children of Adam to the point of it being possibly one of my favorite Fallout factions now. And it even fleshed out everyone's favorite character, Nick Valentine. In essence, Far Harbor was everything Fallout 4 should have been, though it still lacked one major element that the next big expansion managed to address.
If you agree or disagree with this video, be sure to discuss in the comments section, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also be sure to check out my blog at The Critical Canucks at blogspot.ca, and also be sure to follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook, all that jazz. Links to all those are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll be seeing you next time. Peace out, everybody.